Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salam ala al-ashrafil anbiya wal mursaleen. Amma ba'd. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladhina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Ameen. All praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord of the universe and multiverse, and may His infinite peace, mercy and blessings be upon Sayyidul Wujud, Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, upon his beloved family, upon his beloved companions, upon the Khulafai Rashidin, and all those who follow them, Tabi'in, Tabi'in, Ijma'i Mujtahideen, and all the scholars and Mashayikh, and all those who will follow in the future as well. May Allah bless them all. Alhamdulillah, you have all, mashallah, have arrived in the masjid in the months leading to Ramadan, in the month of Sha'ban. And as you know, these days and these nights are very blessed. We know, for example, tomorrow is the Laylatul Bara, the Nisfu Sha'ban tomorrow. And these are the days and nights of blessings that we are really preparing for the month of Ramadan. This is the month of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam of Sha'ban. He sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to fast as much fast as possible in these months in terms of preparation for month of Ramadan. Well, alhamdulillah that we are here as well, that as well as learn and we are practicing our Islam and our ibadat and so on, is then how do we actually go beyond this and enhance ourselves? Because human being by nature, they always travel in many directions. Either they're always learning and enhancing and becoming more and more better, or gaining more knowledge and so on, or if they stop at somewhere and do not continue, then they tend to go in the reverse order as well. It's very difficult. With your own life experience, you would know that to remain in one state is difficult. You're either always improving yourself, or you actually going back and going in a more worse situation. So that is why we should always have the mentality that we should always strive. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given these blessed months. This blessed month of, for example, Muharram, then after that we have Rajab, Sha'ban, Ramadan, Zulqa'dah, Zulhijjah. These are all blessed months. They're like the month of sale, whereby you can get as much reward as possible. You can learn how to go close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as much as possible, close to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam as much as possible. For example, in the month of Ramadan, as you know, that one farad is equal to 70 farad, the reward you will get, which is normally is not possible whatsoever. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is always facilitating for us, creating means, a way to go close to Him. If there is any shortcomings or any lackness or there is no progress, then know for sure that it is lacking from our side. And that is why in this retreat, what we really try to share with yourselves and to enhance and for you to experience, it is exactly this. Because the problem in this day and age, it's not that, we do not know the knowledge. By and large, the vast majority of Muslims, they know what things are good, what things are halal, what things are ahsan, what things if you do practice, that you will attain good reward and closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and so on. And so the actions and deeds, that what are the consequences of going outside the hudud, the boundary of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, committing sins, guna, masiya and so on. We are fully aware. But by knowing this fact or knowing this knowledge isn't sufficient at the moment, unfortunately. Ramadan comes and you see the masjids are full. Fajr prayer, no problem. Half the masjid or almost the whole of the hall is full. Taraweeh, it lasts for 1 hour or longer, is full, and you have to use second hall or the hall upstairs, for example. The people are going at Zohr. Also, same people who work in taxis maybe, or in offices or college, university, normally they do not have time to even offer in their own work, places of work, or at homes, or I'm too busy. But come month of Ramadan, people are still the same life, same work, same situation, but they're able to do all these different ibadat which are farad in our life. So it shows that we do have the capability and the potential to follow the deen, what is required from us, as much as possible. So that means something else, something far more deeper is going on, which actually stops us, or which we stop ourselves from not actually fulfilling those roles, fulfilling those the hukum of Allah and the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. It's something to think about. And that is really, it's as though, if I give an analogy, it's as though an alien has come from another planet, another galaxy, has come and has invaded every one of the human beings here. And we all become zombified. We cannot think for our own selves anymore. We think the person who are meant to be my friend, my brother, my father, my Muslim, my brother in deen, Musliman brother or sister, for example, generally speaking, that we look at with the evil eye. We think he is my enemy, she is my enemy. Whereas the real enemy is the devil and the shaitan, as we know. So it's as though, why? Because our whole, you could say, the mindset has been changed, it's been corrupt. It's as though we have been kidnapped by this alien force from another galaxy. And through time, over the ages of human being, different prophets, obviously awliya, especially the final Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Sahabas and the Ahlul Bayt and Tabi'in and Tabi'in and Aimai, Mujtahideen, especially Mashayikh and Awliya Karam, Ajma'in. What they're trying to do is to recapture the humanity from this alien who's actually captured us and captivated us and kidnapped us. They're trying to recapture and regain and make us human beings realize that who we are in reality. We are human beings. We are something very valuable in our heart and in our mind, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us. So basically they want to wake us up from that sleep state, the zombified state. It's as though the aliens have come, and people who know about science fiction and so on, and they have actually put a serum, the virus in our bloodstream. And that virus has gone all across the body and is taken over our mind, our heart, our blood system, our circulation. So we cannot think normally anymore. We're not the same anymore. And what the awliya and the mashayikh and the prophets have done and are doing now of the final Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is to actually make us recover, make us come out of that illness or that disease that we're suffering from. So who is this alien I'm talking about? This alien is the shaitan, the devil, the Satan himself and his evil army. He has used everything that's within us, in our capability, but he's turned that against us and used it to a maximum ability and captivated and captured us. How has he done this? This is done by many different faculties and avenues. So if you think about it, that we are having the great depth and wealth of ulama and scholars, and the teachers are always teaching about deen. We listen to so many taqreed and bayan and speeches. But why isn't it that it's not having a major shift in our life, a major change? It's because what we learn from, let's say, our honorable scholars and the teachers is information or knowledge that comes into our mind and heart. Not just one faculty of the mind to think, for example. But we have not realized, even the modern psychologists, they now slowly start to realize this. And what shaitan and devil it does, that in reality, the shaitan and his evil army have no power whatsoever over human being. Have no some kind of force that captivates us without our choice. We are still in control. In fact, the shayateen and the devils and the devilish people and the army are weak in reality. But what they use is very soft, very weak approach. But because we get captivated by their approach and how they do it, we almost succumb to that. We give in, we give up, and we basically submit to his ways and never think for our own self who we are. So how does this happen? This is happening because, like I said, human beings have many faculties. And what Shaitan tries to do to his army is manipulates all these different faculties. And so the attraction and the pull is greater on this side. So what are the faculties I'm talking about? Anyone know? Especially those who are attending for the first time. Those who've been before, I expect you should know. That's right. So, mashallah, our brother here was mentioning that we have a body, physical body, like you can see my hands, my face. We have our mind, the mind, the intellect, the aql, we think. We have our heart, our emotions, our character, our qualities. Also, we have something called nafs, which one aspect is our want, the ego, and also our emotions. So what's really happening is at all these different faculties, that we are captivated by the shaitan and the dunya. Dunya, they said, is like the daughter of shaitan. And he uses the daughter and brings into your house, and he becomes your father-in-law after that. Because you marry his daughter, for example. So what is this dunya? Dunya is basically, in our daily life, we see something again and again. It's been presented in front of us. Give you one example. Have you ever seen, for example, there's a drink here. I'm sure it's made by the Coca-Cola company, if it's Fanta or anything like this. So why is it that Coca-Cola, one of the most recognized symbols in the world, why is it the need for them to advertise? Have you ever thought about that? They spend literally millions and millions, tens of millions on advertising and marketing campaign. Why is it? Because everyone knows. I know people who are addicts, Coca-Cola addicts. They can't live without drinking Coca-Cola. That's the thing. And they even such a way they advertise, even the children become addicts as well. You put a range of drinks, soft drinks, whatever, the fruit juice and children, and there's a Coca-Cola, label it. 9 times out of 10, all the children will go for the Coca-Cola. Have you ever noticed that? So why is it that they find the need to advertise? Just for you to think. Maybe they've actually recognized something here that we as a Muslim are missing out on. And that is really that they know that something that is always in front of you, present, is almost bombarding you. Our senses, our eyes, our taste buds gets remembered through that. There's something that is always there in front of you. You naturally have that attraction going towards that because it's always there. It's showing you the need. That's why they spend millions in the TV advertisement, on the internet, on social media, and so on. It's because that when something you're exposed to again and again is in front of you again and again, this natural attraction is there because you're exposed to it with your senses, with your eyes, with your hearing, and so on. So physically, you're always attracted to that because we see the dunya all the time in front of us. It's there. We know what the tastes like. We know the need that I want. I want the taste. I want the enjoyment. For many people, Coca-Cola is not good for them because they may be suffering from diabetes. So they can't control their blood sugar level. And Coca-Cola is the worst thing because then it actually puts their blood sugar level quite high by drinking that. But some people still struggle. It's because of that want that is being made in front of us. So physical attraction is there in dunya. Also, they've manipulated as well. And in our psychic thinking and our psychological makeup, they've tapped into that as well. So that, we're always thinking about this product. So even if I don't see Coca-Cola, it's gone into my system in such a way that I'm always thinking about it. I can always think about the taste of it, or the logo, or associate something that I like. Many people like football, for example. And what the most thing you see in football, for example, between the breaks, is adverts. You see either car advert or a drinks advert. And they spend millions, like if a season comes, like Christmas comes, like in UK, for example, or for example, like a tournament come, national, international, global tournaments. You see those signs are everywhere. It's because then psychologically now he's made us think that the need is there, I want it as well. And our own, you could say, our heart knows the feelings of it. Our emotion knows. So what the shaitan does is, in evil sense, he can manipulate, tap into all these different faculties and avenues. So imagine you go like our heart, our mind, like the brother said, our every other faculty is been attached to dunya, the daughter, remember, the beauty and the allurement of dunya in front of us. And shaitan is manipulating that. It's there. 5 forces is against us. And what's the other force that's actually going for us, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What is it? That is the knowledge we learn, the belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is belief of the unseen. Believe in Allah, believe in the prophets, believe in the kitab, Quran is there, in terms of the day of judgment and akhirat, the life of death. They're all of the belief of the unseen. So even someone who has a perfect iman, yes, I've studied, for example, Aqidah Tahawiyya and Fiqh al-Akbar and so on, all these kitabs, I know, but still their own knowledge, only one faculty in your mind that you know as knowledge form. But what's happening on a day-to-day practical level, you have the 5 other faculties working against that. So there's a clear imbalance. There's a clear imbalance. One thing is you're pulling towards going to masjid, I have to go masjid because there's a fear of hellfire, a punishment, because Allah will be displeased with us. Or if I do this, for example, reward, inshallah, then I'll get a great ajr as well. And then we got all these other faculties in our mind, and the dunya is pulling towards it. So that is why it is very easy to go towards those 5 pulling power and against the one pulling power, which is the belief in the unseen. It is said that especially in this technological age, that people are exposed to matters and things of dunya so much that people of different, you could say, previous centuries, it would take maybe 100, 200 years, 300 years, few generations of people collectively, how much exposure they had, it's more we're getting in maybe in half an hour or 1 hour. Have you heard about this? So if someone's in Africa now, in deep jungle, if they have access to internet, they have all the access to nudity and pornography, which, let's say 500 years ago, even if someone wanted to view something, it was impossible. Maybe very, very rare or seldom. And now, in this technological advancement, although there's great benefit for man with the technology, but also there's that side, that attraction, the negative side is there as well. So as the technology is improving, everything is improving, but at the same time, we're more getting attached to the dunya, and it's all this attraction and what is beauty of it. Where is it where is the redress or the rebalance? Still, is this the belief is the unseen? Yes, I have to do namaz because Allah will be angry if I don't do it. Or some people, my dad will be angry if I don't go namaz. Or my rishtadar, my family will say, oh, look, he doesn't do namaz. Or he doesn't go Jummah. I have to go Jummah because it's very embarrassing if I don't go. So it's only that against all the forces are taking place. So that is why, alhamdulillah, as things are progressing technologically and all the other fields of human being, because they said this is the age of information. So we've gone through the Stone Age and the Bronze Age and so on, and the Industrial Revolution and the Computer Age and the Atomic Age. This is the age of information. Everything, every other information, go on Google, type in, it's there. You don't have to go to the Nizami, which someone should do, learn deen properly from the ulama of Ahlus Sunnah Jama'ah and learn. But how many people are they're doing debates on the online forums, and they go in Google, search a hadith, put a hadith, there you go, there's my hadith, there's my evidence. I disagree with you. There's a scholar who spent 20 years in his life studying deen and learning and sacrificing his time, and people are debates with them. Oh, I've got hadith, you're wrong. You're following a masala, I don't disagree with you. Why? Because all information is there. The nur, the light behind the information is missing. So everything is available in abundance in this day and age, in the age of information. So our ulama and mashayikh, what they've done is, now they want to raise the game now. They want to, like I said, to recapture from the devils and the attraction of the dunya, the evil aspect of dunya, and become who we are in reality, to actually reset us, to bring us back to actually factory setting, get rid of all these you could say many of the baggages we have, which is clogging up our ways to finding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to become really a man of Allah and the following of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So how to raise that? This is where this unveiling of the unseen comes. This is where this unveiling of the unseen comes, because this will help you to raise your, for example, redress the balance, so that your faculties of your mind, heart and soul is also have some kind of alternative, some kind of a way out that can fight against this attraction of dunya and the shaitanic trickery as well, inshallah. So on this basis, how this happened, we'll go through in detail in this retreat, but having this unveiling of the unseen, of the ghaib that we believe in, that helps you, because then your mind is engaged, your heart is engaged, your body is kind of experiencing it as well, because you're still going through a emotion or a practice as well. So then you feel some kind of deep attachment to your deen, to your belief system, so that when the difficulty or the opposition or the proposition comes from dunya and the shayateen, no, I don't want that. I have something greater that tastes far better than this, for example. Simple, it's about balance, inshallah. So in this retreat, like we know, we come for many reasons. We have our own goals, personal targets. But I'd like to ask every one of you now, or some of you at least, that what have you come for? What's your specific aim or objective that you would like to achieve in this retreat? So inshallah, from the right, anyone who would like to mention, maybe the mic, you can, one or two. If not, it's fine, that's fine. Just ask someone randomly, inshallah. No, there's no wrong answer, by the way. Every answer is correct. It's your own answer. So no one's going to laugh at you by hearing your answer, inshallah. Anyone from the back?
To see and to taste.
Sorry?
To see and to taste the spiritual joy.
GT. Anyone else?
I have actually read in a lot of tasawwuf books about Wasul ilallah, so wanted to taste some of it to see, whether actually, all those things which we read in the books, whether that's available.
Good, that's a very, very good example, like the brother have said at the back as well. Anyone else who's here for the first time and they want to mention their own thing? Maybe the brother next to you, Brother Samir, brother here, this brother.
To get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's the main aim here.
MashaAllah. Yeah, that's the aim for everyone. Every Muslim man and woman should have that, MashaAllah, aim, which is good, MashaAllah. Anyone else, maybe from this side? It's okay. I don't know if our state secretary has mentioned. Remember, this 2 days of retreat is completely something completely different that you ever attended. It's not just us talking and you listening. We will ensure and make sure that you are actually also giving your feedback and your questions and so on. So it will be very much interactive. We're not here. In fact, these retreats here, although you see a presentation, I'm talking, it is not a theoretical or a bayan based. Yes, bayan are necessary. The presentations and the delivering of the lecture is necessary for you to understand what we're going to do in practice. Here it's all about practicing something and achieving something or experiencing something, and then you giving your feedback, your questions and so on. So it'll be very much interactive. So by end of Sunday, I'm sure we will all be talking. It'll be very hard for you to control then, inshallah. So inshallah, anyone else? If we move on. Okay. Jazakallah, thank you for your feedback. That's good. So everyone who have said, some actually I think I've been before, so they know the answer already, what I'm going to say. But like the brother said, they want closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is our ultimate aim an objective, of course, for sure. But in this retreat, in this retreat, inshallah, that by end of Sunday, inshallah, that every one of you should have these are your objectives, as your specific aim that you want to target to achieve, inshallah. If you don't, then why you have not achieved, you'll also get answer. When you speak to Ustad one-to-one, they'll give you answer as well. What are the issues, why you've not achieved it, work on those issues, and you will achieve your objectives. So what are the specific objectives you will achieve in this retreat in regards to unveiling of the unseen of the ghaib? And that is really, like one of the brothers said, is to see and taste. To see something and taste of the spiritual world, of the realm of the unseen, of the ghaib, the things that we believe in. For example, they believe in the angels, they believe in obviously the qabr, the life after death, the hellfire, the paradise, the different muqams in the heavens, meeting maybe the previous, you could say prophets, mashayikh, anbiya, awliya. These are all of the unseen in the ghaib and behind the parda, the barzakh, inshallah. So everyone see and taste, that's our objective in this retreat. By end of Sunday when we finish and depart, all should experience, inshallah. If not, then you get a solution as to why you're not experiencing it, inshallah. So that's our specific aim for everyone here. Now, there are obviously, like everyone mentioned, some brothers have mentioned, that yes, to obtain the closeness and the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is important. And ultimately, through this experience, it will strengthen our iman, like I had mentioned, because now, not only is belief system, you have a personalized experience. In life, for example, when you learn something abstractly, you just learn a concept, like in school. Many people, they're not good at maths. They suffer or they struggle to do divisions and multiplications or work out percentages. I know, for example, teaching children, they really struggle to understand how these percentages work. But many of these people, later in life, they become very successful businessmen. And they even instruct, the accountants how to fiddle the figures. They know how to do so. Before in schools, he struggled to do the multiplication longhand or the percentages as well. It's because when you actually go through by yourself in your own life experience, you basically learn and relate to how things work, how the concepts works, and then you can make better understanding of it. So like with Deen, everything we know is all like a theory or just a belief. It's a concept, in terms of our mind, which we believe very strongly. Through this retreat, inshallah, our iman will be more stronger as well. That we'll find a special connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, connection to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, come to the namaz on time, for example, offering daily prayers and so on, inshallah. Then obviously you can learn and experience things which cannot be obtained from books. And it is true that once you go through, you will understand what we're talking about. That really, like our dear brother was saying here, that he has read and heard many things related to tasawwuf, and read many books, but now that the time comes, he wants to experience. So here there's an example where that through books it's not possible, it's mere just information. And inshallah you'll also learn, because any person that if you ask on the street whether they're namazi or not, whether they're practicing or not, if you ask them that what would you like to improve in your Islamic life, because majority of people, if you pray your 5 daily prayers, you're mashallah parezgar, namazi is parezgar. That's it, they don't really understand. Namaz, you pray namaz, you mashallah, you're a good person. It's not necessary that he prays namaz is a good person. It could be a very wretched person who prays namaz, at least doing one good thing, mashallah. But if you ask anyone, they will all say that, yeah, I want to have khushu khudu in namaz. I want to have devotion, I want concentration. When I do namaz, I'm thinking about my shop, my house, what I'm going to eat, for example, my lunch time or evening time. And here you will not only learn about this spiritual namaz, the ruhani namaz, but you'll experience as well, inshallah. We'll go through that in this retreat. So the overview of this retreat is, inshallah, our objective is see and taste. So as you can see, it is out of this world, as you can see in the presentation. What we're going to achieve is out of this world, see and taste. So how do we achieve this? Is at the beginning. First of all, is our niyat, our intention. We should be like an open vessel, like an open, like a clear, empty cup, where you're willing, your open mind, you're willing to hear, listen, understand, and follow. You're not going to have too many things on. I have my own opinion, my own ways. If someone has that, then inshallah good, we respect that, but then you should continue with your own journey. If you haven't, then inshallah you have to be in a receptive mood. So that's the first point. Then after that, inshallah, we'll be learning about that in order to achieve this aim, this objective, as you can see my cursor there, to achieve that, with everything in life, there's a foundation. Like this building, it's been standing maybe for hundreds of years now, maybe 150 years, looking at the structure of the building. It must be so strong and going to the test of time because it's got good foundation. So in order to achieve this see and taste, we have to have these fundamental practices known as the 5 fundamental practices, like a foundation to build our journey to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah. So we're going through that, inshallah. Then after that, we'll also touching upon or going through briefly that some of the obstacles to achieve see and taste. Sometimes that it is that reason or those reasons why we do not achieve or we are not progressing, our iman is not becoming stronger in deen, because we have these obstacles that we never, faced or did something about it, tried to rectify them. Like I said earlier, that maybe I am praying namaz, alhamdulillah, I'm at least doing one good thing, but maybe I've got certain obstacles in my life which are obvious and I'm doing nothing about it to actually rectify them. And in reality, Allah knows best, but in reality those could be the means that I'll be questioned in Yawmul Qiyamah. I might be stopped and I might be held accountable for this. So inshallah, very briefly in the session and in one-to-one, we'll go through what are the obstacles in our life, because these 7 obstacles are like the summary of many personal obstacles we might have. They just summarizes that everyone or vast majority can relate to, inshallah. And then after that, there's something called spiritual centers or latifa. Now, for some maybe it's quite a common concept. They've actually studied, they know what they are. And some, it's completely new. For either, I would say, do not worry too much. It is literally another science that you will learn. That how to benefit for your own self. It's like, for example, in medical science, doctors amongst us, they'll know that very recently they've discovered one physical aspect of our body, one organ that actually stays within the stomach, which they never discovered before until maybe a few years ago. And that's a huge role of actually regulating our food and how we eat and so on, and the whole patterns. And it's only recently through latest technology and through scanning and so on, they have discovered that. So likewise, there are many other aspects of human being that is not been discovered even by the science. Maybe another 500 years, maybe another 300 years, when the technology is so powerful that this will be elucidated, made a common knowledge. Like for example, if you were to go back 300 years and you talk about radio wave and a gamma wave, and how, for example, we have this Wi-Fi that can connect from here to Australia, they'll say you become either crazy or you think you got superpowers or some kind of superpowers of hearing and sight. How is this possible? Australia in those days, coming from here to Manchester, you would take 2 days, for example, of travel. Almost, you're a musafir, not quite yet, but almost, for example, 2/3 of the way. And now with that same span of time, you can go half of France, for example. So there are many aspects of our own body we've not really discovered yet. And some of them are called spiritually, they exist within us and outside of us as well. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam vindicated in many du'as these certain light bodies that exist. So for example, it's like the spirit, the ruh we know. We cannot see what it is. We don't know where the nafs is. We know nafs exist and the spirit exists. But you cannot pinpoint exactly, it's there, it's somewhere, inshallah. Likewise, there are other aspects, other minor spiritual bodies exist within ourselves, which inshallah we'll discuss that and go through that as well. Why we discuss this? This is because this is a ruhani spiritual journey. At the moment, we have a ruh who, is actually like, dead. It needs a spark. It needs like a kickstart, jump lead, for example. We don't know how to start it, so we go call an engineer. He goes, "Oh, you need a jump lead. Your engine is fine, but it's been dead for years. You need to restart it." In order to restart, we need to go through this spiritual centers and latifas. They're like the spark or the jump lead that starts the engine, inshallah. Then you can fly towards your spiritual journey, inshallah. So we'll go through these details, next 2 days, as well as we'll practice on many things, inshallah, we'll mention. Then after that, this spark helps you to start your engine of your spirit, your ruh, and then you spiritually transfer and then see the realms of the unseen, the spiritual world, inshallah. That's what the arrow is indicating, for example, here. Then once you transfer, and we do this, muraqabah means the deep contemplation, meditation, whichever word you like to use. Muraqib, it came from the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ar-raqib, for example, to think and ponder. So the meditation, inshallah, we'll first of all, we'll go to muraqabah miraj. Muraqabah miraj is ascension, like month of Rajab, we know Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as, not only spiritually, physically travel to the heavens. For us, as a believer, we can also do the miraj at our own level. Miraj of mu'mineen, inshallah. So after the transfer, we go to muraqabah miraj. What is muraqabah miraj? So it's shown here, for example, the muraqabah miraj are those. So inshallah, spiritually, you'll experience yourself, you do your lataif, practices, transfer, you'll go to Medina Sharif, then Kaaba, like the journey of ascension, the Laylatul Miraj, that night of Miraj, for example, Isra Miraj as well. Kaaba, then Masjid Aqsa, then the first heaven, first sky, second sky, third sky, all the way to the Baitul Ma'mur, 7 heavens, the Dome of Barzakh, and so on, and many other journeys after. Whatever station one can reach, it is never ending one to speak. So this is Muraqabah Miraj, inshallah, we'll be practicing. So you can all, inshallah, learn that as well. So this is all practical, by the way, nothing theoretical. Only reason why we go into theoretical, or we will be going to more presentations and lectures, so that you understand what we're doing, inshallah. Then after that, there's many 11s. We'll go through later, inshallah, do not worry. Then we'll do a special called Muraqabah Dua. Muraqabah Dua is something that you learn how to, very, I could say, a special relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How to develop a very special relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's like, you're going to combine all the different force and powers together into one. I'll not say anymore, but imagine that all these different forces of good and ibadah, everything that you do, you all bring into one. And imagine that force, then you connect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how powerful that would be. So inshallah we'll be covering that as well. Muraqabah, dua as well. Then after that, inshallah, we'll be doing, like I said earlier, a spiritual salah. Such a salah you'll do that you say, I do not have time to think something else. Now you're saying, complain like we complain, that I cannot focus on salah. My thought is going here and there and everywhere. Even the thoughts I never think about normally comes in my salah. Do you agree or not? Because I never thought about something. But as soon as I said Allahu Akbar, I remembered, oh yeah, I left my house door open. And then I'm thinking, shall I break my namaz and lock the door, or Allah tawakkul, you protect my house now. Still remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but that doesn't happen as well. But inshallah you learn such salah that inshallah you're actually communicating and connecting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are some of the muqams shown here. Spiritual transfer. Imagine this, like brother said, you read in the books. Here you learn spiritual transfer as though in the old Masjid Nabawi, praying namaz there, praying salah there. Although you're here physically, for example. Then after that, inshallah, there are other muraqabahs we do. Maybe not in this retreat, but in many other retreats as well. But main thing is two main things. Number one is that we do not rely on our own self. In reality, everything is difficult in life. Nothing is easy. Even opening my eyelashes to see is hard. Those who do not have eyelashes, they have some illness and they have to cut it out. Imagine that. Their eyes become very, very sore because they can't close their eyelashes. It's as though you using a sandpaper and rubbing it against their eyeballs whenever they close. For us, it's like we're doing it how many thousand times a day. Very easy. But if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not give permission and it doesn't make it easy for us, then nothing is easy in life. Except by which Allah makes it easy for us. So that's why reliance upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like I mentioned here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the key here. That's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then from the teaching point of view, and the ustad and the mashayikh point of view, and the awliya, focusing on the teacher, submission of the teacher is the key. Now I'm going to take a few more minutes to explain this. So what I'm trying to say is there's many other muraqabas we do inshallah as well. So what is this focusing on the teacher? It is not a very alien or a far-fetched concept. Let me give you an analogy. That people who are, I think everyone here been to the schooling system in UK, or even if you're from Pakistan or anywhere else in the world, everyone goes to the schooling system. That, for example, when you start learning at a young age, at a primary age or even nursery, you had a 2-3 set of teachers who taught you, how to do the phonics. Not even ABCD, to say aba, ka, like this. Because even ABCD is too difficult for the infants to understand. So they just teach you phonics. How does it sound like? These letters, the alphabet, what are the sounds you learn? Then later on, when they go to, for example, year 1, year 2, they learn the names of the letters. A, B, C, for example. So you have one group set of teachers, then you move on, go to the primary, you go second set of teachers. They teach you how to connect letters into words, and then how to pronounce the words, and then words into sentences. And then, there are many activities we learn in school, for example, come home as well. Then after a while, inshallah, we're able to read. Maybe not high-level books, but very simple children book. We can read. Sometimes we do not understand. Then our parents, our teacher teaches us as well. So then we move on. Then inshallah, when the primary school finishes, where do you go? Secondary or high school? High school, where you read quite well. Maybe you still don't understand the meaning behind it. So then there's another group of teachers there. So you leave those first group of teachers, primary school, Mr. John, and Mr. Wells and Mr. Whoever you have in your teacher, Mr. Smith, you leave them behind and you find another teacher, maybe some female teacher this time. But they teach you the comprehension. Now when you read, what does it mean? What is the, read between the lines? For some people it's not obvious, you have to teach the children. Actually it means that. This is actually a irony. He doesn't mean what he's saying, it actually means something else. So you learn the comprehension and understanding. So what happens after a while, or mathematics and same. In mathematics, they learn about starting to teach algebra and so on, or trigonometry and so on, or in science. Basic concepts are introduced in secondary level. Basic ideas and theories, like in theory of evolution and so on. And the theory, for example, of the Newtonic law and so on, they all get taught at the basic level at the secondary school. Then they do GCSE, and if they do well, they either go to the further education college or A levels, sixth form college. There, where they learn about high level, how to derive, lessons, how to write prose, how to write essays, how to, present your argument in a more, encouraging way, so that you can win argument against someone else, or how to do complex mathematics, how does it relate to in the real world, in the field of engineering and physics and so on. Then all these stages, you have what? Different set of teachers. Then you go to university, where you meet the professors and the lecturers who at the highest level, pinnacle in their own field. They are the one who do research after research. They write papers after papers, scientific journals and papers and research. And based on these things, scientific facts is being made. Or for example, people who do mathematics, they learn about the theory of maths. Why is it 1 + 1 = 2? They learn that at a master's and a PhD level. So they have to come up with a theory that, yes, this is the reason why this principle or this formula that you've learned in school actually is valid, is proof. Nothing is proof until you can prove it, for example. So these are different stages. The point is, what I'm trying to say is, in all these different stages, you have a different set of teachers. And at no point in our life, we were stubborn and said, no, he's my teacher from primary school. I love Mr. Smith. He taught me how to do ABCD. I don't want to go to university and learn from this professor or from this lecturer from college because I love Mr. Smith. What would you say? Respect and love him. Doesn't matter if you're Muslim or not. You respect the people you learn from. And especially when it comes to ulama and the mashayikh and the people who taught you fiqh, aqidah, even qaida and the nazar of Quran and so on, and then higher level like the commentary of the Quran and the hadith, respect all of them in every field that you learn from. But now you come to this science, this field now. The expert in that field, you have to accept and submit and follow their way. Same principle applies in tasawwuf, in Sufism. It's not complex, oh, I'll give him bayat. Alhamdulillah, if you give him bayat, you're following a shaykh, mashallah, good, great, alhamdulillah, respect him. But now you want to learn this, very high level, very specialized, the seeing, the seeing, the visions of the unseen, very high level. Maybe the shaykh who you have give bayat to, he's introduced in the field of tasawwuf. But now for you to now go further, go advance, you need a specialized person who can take you there. So there is no conflict. There is no fight in my mind, he's my shaykh, my heart says this, my mind says this. You should have this very clarity clear. Like I've learned about Nazara, Qaida, Nazara, then the fiqh, then Usulul fiqh, then Hadith, and Ilmul Hadith and so on. Maybe you have different teachers along the way. Tasawwuf is the same. Someone will introduce what is tasawwuf. Someone will introduce how to do tawbah. You did bayat on tawbah on someone's hand. And you become a better person after that. But now, as like I mentioned, we should slowly advance. This is a very advanced, for example, level. Now, you can go to anyone who can teach that. But if you're here, you want to learn this, then the person who's teaching this is our teacher, Hazrat Shaykh Ahmed Dabbagh. So to follow him in this spiritual sense and to submit to him is the key. Without that, it's difficult then. Then you won't learn. It's the same as if you don't submit to the professor at university, they will not accept you then. If they don't accept you, then you will not, you'll get your A levels, you can get certain jobs, but you'll see a seal for you, glass seal. You can't go off higher, for example, management or a senior management in your field because you don't have a degree. And then you think, I should have done my degree. Why have I not done it? My salary is only 30,000 now. It doesn't go beyond 30,000 because I'm not manager. Whereas the guy who came 5 years, he's 5 years younger than me, he's become my boss now. I've taught him in school, he's become my boss now. How? Because he's done degree and master's degree and he's got high level jobs. So in spirituality, it's the same. I might be doing namaz and ibadat and teaching and so on for many years. Someone comes later in life, he's learned these things, submitted to the right people, learned, and maybe Ruhani, in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's gone beyond me to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is always possible as well. So it's all matter of relying on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and submitting to the teacher. Many people, most people here know who the teacher is. For those who don't, his name is Shaykh Ahmed Dabbagh, obviously from our Manchester, Ashton. He specializes in many fields. He's a descendant of Sayyidina Imam Hassan al-Basri from Basra, Iraq, mashallah. He's also expert in, for example, fiqh, hadith, theology, the kalam, the aqidah, and so on. These are the sciences they're expert in. But what they really focus on and really want to teach people and to save people, remember I said, to actually release from the captivity of shaitan to the tazkiyah and purification and to apply to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unveiling. This is what's lacking in this day and age. And so therefore they practically teach this knowledge and the practice as well, where people benefit from. And mashallah, they're always traveling around the world. They've been to many institutions around the world. For example, from the USA, I was with them in Canada last year as well. USA, Canada, Europe, Africa, Indonesia, Malaysia, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Middle East as well. They just recently came back from Indonesia as well, from a global international conference there. As well as Pakistan, they have a Zawiya and institutions there as well. And obviously, this is all free for sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, completely free of charge. All this work has been done. So this is the teacher, people who do not know who the teacher I'm talking about. Then inshallah, we may be blessed with them coming here, inshallah, after Isha as well. So we'll be blessed physically as well, inshallah. But really, what I'm trying to understand is very simple. If I were to summarize, is that the ustads were here, mashallah, many ustads were here. They're under the guidance and tutelage of Shaykh Ahmed Dabbagh, who are obviously they're showing the path to the seeker and this journey to experience this see and taste, inshallah. The Ayn al-Yaqeen, we'll explain later, inshallah. The tools, how to achieve that, and the ustad will help you along as well, under the guidance of the teacher. So expectation from you is to commit, be an open vessel. You're not here to pass time. And very easy, if you were to summarize all this, if I were to summarize all this, if I go back, so if I were to summarize, for example, how to achieve all these muraqabahs that I showed you earlier. So if I were to achieve all this, inshallah, is very simply, we rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We do not attribute any amals, any deed, any tasbih, any recital to ourselves, or because of me, I'm doing something. No, it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is taking us to Him. And secondly, we submit to the teacher who's actually going to teach us and take us to that journey. So this is from the heart. You don't even have to say with your tongue. And if I want to summarize this, how is think as though I am nothing, and I do not know anything. I am nothing because in sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala I am nothing. Not even a speck of dust in sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look how vast the universe is. Recently you might have seen the news that they've discovered, actually shown a picture of black hole. Have you all heard of the news? Do you know what black hole is, by the way? Inshallah, I'll show you later if you want to. So they discovered a black hole, which is basically it's like many stars, a size of planet, our sun, maybe 5, 6, maybe like a million times bigger than that. They all explode and then they actually collapse, and the gravity, the force is very, very high, to the extent where even the light cannot escape. It becomes completely dark. And they said that maybe it's actually a pathway to another world. That's what the scientists say now. This black hole maybe is a gateway to another world, not the universe maybe, or universes, multiverse as well. Allah knows better. But for example, what I was saying is that in that size of that magnitude, the planets and the galaxies, open galaxies, and super galaxies, we are nothing. 6, like brother was saying, 5, 9, 5, 10. Maybe some people are 6 foot here, so 6'5" maybe. No one's taller than 7 foot. I don't think in here. We are nothing. We're just a speck inside of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So really, we are nothing. We should think like that really in reality. Inside of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inside of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the awliya, spiritual as well, we are nothing. And really, we do not know anything. Quran is vast. It's a speech, word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How can we claim I know Quran? Okay, when we casually speak, yeah, we say Hafiz, I know Quran. But in reality, the understanding and the meaning, the Sahabas, like in Sayyidina Umar and Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhum, that they used to spend 10 years, many years learning 1 ruku or 2 rukus. Why? It's not because it's hard to memorize. It's because as they were learning, they were implementing that in their life. And they understand the deeper meaning of it, which is endless. So really, we do not know anything. If anyone knows, is obviously Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is complete and absolute knowledge. And after that, from the creation point of view, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has the highest and say unlimited knowledge from our point of view, relatively speaking. His knowledge is not parallel, unparalleled. Then obviously from that, then the Sahabas, then the Ahlul Bayt, then the Awliya Mashaykh. And this one teacher I'm talking about here, we believe, inshallah, we have faith that he's being one of them. Although, maybe I won't be allowed to say this in front of them. Only reason why, actually, I'm taking the opportunity that they're not here. Or else I will be reprimanded for saying this, but I am saying anyway, for your own understanding, to appreciate what's in front of you, inshallah. So really, we are nothing, and we do not know anything. If you just have that in mind, this mindset, it'll take us far. Because, for example, like people who are like many people, I think there might be a few physicians here as well. People who work like, for example, CEO or a senior management and they're directors. But let's say they've not had a first aid training and they sign up for 3-day first aid training. And when you go to first aid training, you have to listen to the instructor, everything they say. They lie you down in a funny position and say, no, you have to listen to me. They'll lay you down on the ground, say, okay, someone will come and press your chest very hard. And you think, no, how dare they going to press my chest? Because no, that's part of the training. If you don't agree, you can just leave. We respect who you are, because you might be a CEO, you might be a chief executive of your company. But now you've come for 3 days to learn from me. So you have to do everything that I say. I'll ask you to answer the question, you have to answer. Don't say, no, I'm CEO. How can I, why should I answer your question? How dare you ask me a question? If you have that attitude, they say, okay, that's fine, then goodbye. See you later. So for that 3 days, you have to submit to the instructor who's teaching you, because you want to learn something, you want to acquire something, for example. So in that basis, human being that the scope of learning is never ending. From cradle to grave, we're always learning and implementing in life. So really, we do not know anything, and we are nothing in reality, inshallah. That goes a long way, very, very far, if you have that mentality and attitude, inshallah. Because why? What's the opposite of that? It's shaitan. When he said ana khair in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you have the other attitude, the opposite attitude which I'm talking about, that I am something always, because that's what devil thought. Shaitan Azazil he was known as until that point. That he did so many worship. He physically went through heavens. He had a mirage as well. He went to first heaven, all these different heavens, and he was amongst the angels living around. He even saw Adam alayhi salam and so on. But he said, I am something. I've done something. I've done so many years of ibadat, so many hundreds of years of ibadat. I am something. So when Allah asked him, why have you not bowed down? No, Allah, I'm khair, I'm better. Why should I bow down to him? But if you just said, no, I am nothing, Allah's command, hukum, okay, Allah, you give me hukum, I follow. Whether I know or not doesn't matter. Whether I understand the wisdom and the concept behind it, why this is happening, no, I just follow because Allah's command, he would have been saved. But no, he showed he had something. He thought he knows something. He thought he is something. And that's why he's been wretched and doomed forever now. Forever and ever, in the hellfire as well. After day of judgment, inshallah. So inshallah we'll finish for Salatul Isha, which is I think at 10 o'clock, is it? Yeah, inshallah. And after then we'll proceed with all the sessions as well. For Jazakallah for your time, for coming for these 2 days, and especially bearing with me as well. Just quickly, if you have any quick questions now regarding what I've covered or what I've said, if you want me to clarify anything based on what I said today, with this last 45 minutes, then please do ask. If not, then we'll break for Isha, inshallah. Anything that you did not understand, I can explain in Bangla, maybe in Urdu, if people are going next to me maybe. But apart from that, that's my limit. Anything else? But any other question regarding what I have covered, or any questions you have, then you can ask, inshallah. If not, then inshallah we'll have a break for now, and we'll continue after Isha and the meal as well, inshallah. Okay, then in that case, is that okay? Jazakallah. Subhanakallah, alhamdulillah, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Okay, Jazakallah, thank you.